Hi there folks, this is Adam coming to you today from 8 Badge Gaming with the final game video in our gameplay series for our Lapras Waterbox deck. So you've already been able to see some of the matchups that we've been paired up against, so we're just going to go ahead and hop on into the queue. And it looks like today we're getting paired up against likely either the Gardevoir Lycanroc or the Glade Gardevoir deck, due to the combination of the fairy and fighting there. For the coin flip, we're going to call heads, always heads, and we lost the coin flip as we are apt to do. So let's see what we do get as a starting hand here now. So it looks like we do get to start with a Lapras in the active, as well as a Manaphy. Well, this is actually pretty good, because we can start the Lapras in the active. We can throw down the Manaphy and the Remoraid. We can see what our opponent sets up here. We've got quite a bit of card draw capability. Depending on what we draw for the first turn, we might be pitching that to the Ultra Ball rather than the Max Elixir and Guzma. But we do have the ability to Sycamore into a full hand of cards here. So we do get to have a bit of an aggressive start. We do see him Mysterious Treasuring, discarding an energy. He went for an Inkay. So we're actually against a Malamar variant here. So I'm curious as to what Malamar decks are using fighting and fairy Pokemon. We see an energy being attached here. Let's see. So we've got a Brooklet Hill. We'll use Brooklet Hill to actually go for another Lapras here. Actually, we might go for the Volcanion, because if we get an energy off of the Sycamore, then we can actually use the Volcanion's ability to force up the Inkay. So we're going to Ultra Ball here, and we're going to go for another Lapras. And we're going to throw down a Lapras here now, and we're going to Sycamore. Now, the reason we went for another Lapras is so if we get any cards that help us suit up our existing one, then we have the ability to do so. We did get our Jet Geyser turned on with our energy discard, and we're actually going to be able to Aqua Patch that directly onto our Lapras, which we'll do there as well. We could technically energy switch it. Yeah, actually, let's go ahead and energy switch it up to our active Lapras, and then we can actually use a collect to draw ourselves 3 cards on our first turn here. We hit a Max Elixir as well as an energy here. So what we can do on our turn, depending on what our opponent sets up here, I suspect that they're likely going to try to get that Inkay out of the active, and that they're going to try and evolve it into a Malamar. Now, if they do that, we can use an energy from our hand to attach to our active Lapras. He's going to go for a Guzma here, forcing up the Volcanion, and I think we're actually just fine with that. What we can do here now, so let's think it through a bit. We do have a Max Elixir and an energy, so let's try the Max Elixir first and see if it hits. So the Max Elixir did indeed hit. So now what we can look at doing, let's see, is we can energy, then we can go for a Lele. We can use Lele to go get a Guzma, which we will. Or do we go for Cynthia to try to go for a different hand? Because yeah, I think we actually go for the Guzma. And we're going to look to take out one of the Malamars here. Because with any type of Malamar-based deck, taking out the Malamars and their Inkays respectively are the primary thing that you want to be able to do. Let's actually go ahead and we're going to pitch the Field Blower in the end here because they're both negligible. We don't want to put our opponent up cards in hand. And we're going to go for an Octillery. We're going to throw the Octillery down, use it to draw 3 cards. So let's go a bit deeper in our deck. We hit another Sycamore and a Max Elixir. So let's actually do a Max Elixir here. And we're going to put it on our Volcanion as a potential secondary attacker here. But we're going to go ahead and Blizzard Burn here. And we're going to take out a Inkay. So it does look like our opponent actually scooped it up. It looks like they did get a bit card stuck there. So we will actually make this into a double feature for you today. We'll hop into another game, and for our first time ever, we'll actually make this a 6-game series across the 4 gameplay videos. So we're going to go ahead and hop back into our queue here now once I finish clearing off the notifications that you're not seeing there right now of my ladder rank up and various prize rewards, etc. But we're going to hop back into another Lapras match here, and we're going to see what we get paired up against. Now, we can happily get paired up against just about anything there today. Hopefully it's something that we haven't played yet. We didn't get to see exactly how that deck planned to use the Malamars with their fighting and their fairy deck, so I'm not entirely sure exactly what our opponent was playing. They did get card stuck, and we did start to take out their Inkays, which caused them to scoop it on up. So we are still actually waiting on another opponent here. Here we go. So let's go ahead and hop on into it. We're against a water fighting psychic deck. So this is likely a Buzzwole deck with artillery in it, if I would happen to make a guess on it. So we'll see what we do get paired up against. Now our opponent is calling the flip. They do have the Pikachu coin, as you can see here. We're waiting to see what they call, whether it's going to be heads or tails, and that's going to help us determine exactly who's going to be going first. Now, we are fine taking the first turn, but we did lose the flip here. It's likely going to be our opponent choosing to go first, which they are. Now, there's going to be a chance that we do have the ability to suit on up for a full attack with a Blizzard Burn on our first turn. We did actually have double Aqua Patch, triple Water Energy, Cynthia, and Guzma as our starting hand here, so we will be mulliganing while our opponent chooses an active Pokemon. They do seem to be taking their time a little bit now. That's entirely with them trying to likely figure out exactly what they want to put into active, what else they might want to throw down, etc. And it does look like we actually do get to start with a Lapras here. So I'm going to go ahead and throw down the Lapras, as well as the Manaphy EX for a free retreat in case our opponent does try to do the N. They do get to start a card here, and they're starting a Remoraid. They drew off the mulligan, not throwing anything else down. They drew an extra card for turn. I would assume they have a draw supporter here of some sort, or an Ultra Ball that would help there as well to get another Pokemon out of their deck. And they did get the Float Stone for the Octillery. Now the question is, what do we want to promote on our side? They've got a Baby Buzzwole, which I would be happy to knock out, because that card is hard to play around, and it can hit like a house. We've got a Max Elixir with an energy attachment to the Baby Buzzwole. A strong energy. Let's see, does he have a draw supporter here? Doesn't look like it. So, we've got ourselves a secondary Lapras here. I think we go ahead and throw an energy down. So let's see, actually we're going to Ultra Ball, discarding Ultra Ball and energy. We're going to use that to go get a Remoraid. We've got our Octillery there. We've got our other Lapras in the deck. We already have our Manaphy, our Volcanion. So let's just select Remoraid here. Let's see, we do have one of our Aqua Patches prized. And we've got access to most of our draw supporters. Not all of our energy, but that's okay. Alright, so we're going to get a Remoraid. We're going to throw it on down here. Pardon the coughing there. And we're going to go for a Cynthia. So we're going to shuffle our hand up, go for something else here. I'm actually... Jeez, sorry there. I'm actually not terribly interested in throwing down the Brooklet Hill here. We've already got a pretty great setup, so I don't think it's really necessary. We've got the Ultra Ball on our turn, and we can simply just put an energy on this Lapras and actually just go for a Collect. So we'll do a collection here to draw 3 extra cards, and that's going to pass it on back to our opponent. So let's see what he does here now. He's got 3 cards in hand. If he's got the Octillery, that's going to give him quite a bit of draw support. He didn't have the draw supporter on the last turn, so he might have top-decked one here as well. But it actually looks like he's just going to go for a Sledgehammer here. So let's see if we go for... what do we got here? We don't want to N. We don't want a Sycamore. We can Lele for Cynthia. First, we're actually going to use an Ultra Ball to discard an energy and a Brooklet Hill, because we're going to go for an Octillery. we're going to use the Octillery to evolve. Octillery to evolve. We're going to throw an energy on to the Lapras here. We're going to Yes, we're actually going to go for retreat into this Lapras. We're going to energy switch, moving the energy from this Lapras to this Lapras. I think we're going to go ahead and throw down a choice band because we're fine with that. And we can, let's see, we don't want to end, we don't want to Sycamore. Let's actually go for an Abyssal Hand here first. We did get an Aqua Patch and a Volcanion, so we'll throw down the Volcanion and we'll actually patch an energy onto the Volcanion here with the high retreat cost. Then I think we're going to Lele for a Cynthia, just to increase the overall cards in hand. We don't want to get rid of a Sycamore and end just yet. We might need to end our opponent down if the game goes long. So we'll go for the Cynthia here. See if we get anything that can move an energy up. The other energy switch would be great. Remoraid, Choice Band, Manaphy. So it looks like we're just actually going for another collect here. Getting some additional cards in hand. We got an Aqua Patch and a Max Elixir, so we might actually be able to suit up our Volcanion there. And it looks like it's going to be a game here now. Our opponent finally got a Sycamore. He did Sycamore away a Lycanroc and a Guzma, which we're fine seeing. We've got a Max Elixir here. He's likely trying to build up for a dangerous Rogue. He's not going to be able to evolve this turn. Now, if we hit on the Max Elixir, what I think we actually do is we Guzma up the the Rockruff there. We're likely going to see a swing around here for a lot of damage. Tails and Tails, which we're happy about. It's still risking a KO on our Pokemon here. So let's see if our Max Elixir is going to hit. We did hit with our Max Elixir here, so we're going to put that onto Volcanion. We're going to Aqua Patch, putting that onto the Volcanion. Let's see, we don't want to Ultra Ball. We're actually, let's see, let's Guzma up your Rockruff, and we're going to put up a Volcanion. We're going to Ultra Ball, getting rid of the Remoraid and the Manaphy, as they're a little redundant at the moment. We're going to fail to find. We're going to put a Choice Band down on the Volcanion. We're going to Octillery to draw 2 with the Abyssal Hand. We got a Guzma and an Energy Switch. So that could actually be good for us, because if he promotes up next turn, we've got 80 plus 20 is 120, plus 20 is... Sorry, 80 plus 40 is 120. He has to hit both coin flips to knock out the Volcanion. And what we can actually do is do an energy switch, and that would move an energy from the Volcanion over to the Lapras, or we could, if we hit me with a Max Elixir, just do that. So let's see what he promotes here now. If he promotes the Baby Buzzwole, if he gets both heads, he's going to be able to KO the baby, or KO our Volcanion. That's going to be a bit of a bad deal for us, because that means that we're actually going to be a little stuck here. So we're going to see what he promotes here. We've taken out the Rockruff. He's making a hard choice. He's just going to promote the free retreater here. So let's see what he actually ends up going for. We've got a Cynthia on his part. He's likely going to be trying to go for another Baby Buzzwole that he can suit up to get ready to attack, mainly because he's going to be able to one-shot us when we get down to the 4 prize mark. Oh, now he only needs to hit 1 heads. So we need him to hit both tails if he uses his swing around attack here. If he hits both tails, we're still in this. If he doesn't, we're going to be a little boned. So let's see what he goes with here. Beast Energy on the other Baby Buzzwole. Let's see, swing around. We've got a Tails. Come on, Tails. No, he got a Heads. So that's going to be a KO. And that puts us in a bad position here now. So what we can do is we can promote up this Lapras here. We can do a max elixir, which we will. We'll put an energy onto this Lapras. We'll attach an energy to this one. We will retreat this Lapras into this one. We don't want a Sycamore or anything here just yet, because the Guzmas might be very applicable for us. We can't retreat here now. If we actually thought about it, we might want a Guzma. So what I think we actually want to do here is potentially do an Ice Beam, but that's not going to do a KO. I think we just go for the Blizzard Burn for the KO. And hope that we're going to... Actually, no. We're going to do an Ice Beam. We're going to do an Ice Beam and see if our opponent can get out of that. Let's see if they have a draw supporter or a Noctillery or anything here. If we can keep them stuck card-wise, that's going to be good for us. They did hit the Manaphy, though that's going to actually help us a bit, because that'll let us go for our... Or rather, they hit the Brooklet Hill. So we can actually use that to go for our other Lapras. He did have another Rockruff, and we've got an N here. And I think we might actually be okay with that, depending on what he has, because he's not going to be able to get his Pokemon out of the active. We've got a Max Elixir. And he's going on the Rockruff here. So what we can actually do is... we can do the KO on the Rockruff. That takes another prize. That enables his Sledgehammer, but he's got a horribly weakened Pokemon here. We could go for the Manaphy EX Knockout, but then that just sets up our Manaphy to be KO'd. We could Guzma. Yeah, so what we'll actually do here is we're going to Guzma up the Rockruff. We're going to promote our Lapras. We're going to retreat our Lapras. We're going to put an energy on this Lapras. We're going to put a Choice Band on this Lapras. We're going to go for another Lapras. We're going to Octillery to do an Abyssal Hand for 2 to draw 2 cards here. We got ourselves another energy and another Choice Band, which we'll throw on down. And now we're going to go for a Blizzard Burn to KO the Rockruff here. Lycanroc is going to be one of his strongest attackers here. He's going to be able to one-shot even something full health. So we want to shut that down as much as possible. So what we're going to see here now is him be able to KO our weakest Lapras here. In response, we're going to be able to KO whatever he puts up with our secondary Lapras. Depending on what we draw, we might actually use an energy switch to put over to a full HP Lapras. So what we're hoping for here is he puts up the Baby Buzzwole that has the most damage on it, because it has the most energy. Then what we can actually do is we can force up one of his other Pokemon here. Oh, he's actually got the Guzma. So he's going to go for our least damage Lapras here. Likely try to go for a KO. Let's see, Jet Punch is going to be not quite a KO. And we'll actually be able to take the KO back. So that's a bit of a bad time for our opponent here. Let's actually put an energy here. We're going to energy switch from this Lapras to this one. We're going to Abyssal Hand for 1 to see if that changes anything else that we want to do. Field Blower is actually great, because Field Blower is going to let us take out this and this, take out their free retreat and the extra damage from the other Buzzwole. We're going to Cynthia here to go up a few new cards. We got ourselves a Guzma and some energy. Alright, so let's go for a Blizzard Burn to take a KO on this Buzzwole. And now we've actually got the Sledgehammer shut down on our opponent's side. We're actually also out of Beast Ring range for him to be able to suit up another Pokemon. And we can actually suit up our undamaged Lapras on our turn here too. He did have another Float Stone and he had a Sycamore. Okay, so we're still going to have a bit of a tight game here. He's going to be able to take the KO easily now on our big Lapras, because it only has 10 HP. He's not going to be able to potentially take a KO with the Buzzwole that's suited up on the bench. So I think we're actually in a pretty good position here now, because he takes a KO, that puts him down to 3 prizes. What we do is we put up our damaged Lapras here. We can Aqua Patch and attach an energy to our undamaged Lapras. So we're going to Aqua Patch onto the undamaged Lapras. We're going to attach an energy. We're going to free retreat our damaged Lapras into this one. We're going to Blizzard Burn for a KO on this Baby Buzzwole. Now, he can't straight KO our current Buzzwole. If he has the Guzma to force our existing Lapras out of the active, we're going to be able to then put it up after he KOs our damaged Lapras. He can't take 3 prizes in this turn, so we're going to be able to actually just take the KO against our opponent here. We do have the Guzma as well, as just a secondary play that we can just use to force up any one of his bench Pokemon for us to take a KO and then retreat our active Lapras. He is going to promote the Buzzwole here. He's got the Choice Band, so he needs double heads for a KO here. He got it. But that's going to be alright, because we're just going to promote our damaged Lapras, attach an energy, and we're going to Blizzard Burn for KO. So, in a very close game against Buzzwole, we've been actually able to pull this off and take the KO on our opponent's Pokemon. So that was actually a very tight back and forth game. Our opponent got stuck initially, which gave us some time to set up. I think if they had the full setup on their side from the start, they actually would have been able to demolish us pretty easily. But we were able to take the win. So that was actually a 2-win game video here, and we'll come back to you with the overall win-loss record now tomorrow with our deck review, where we'll discuss exactly how we enjoyed the deck, how we did with it, etc. And hopefully you'll tune on in for that. As always, we do greatly appreciate your viewership, and this is Adam with 8 Badge Gaming signing off.